I usually don't discuss it. I know I can trust your discretion. I am currently composing a poem about how friendship, with so many songs about war and betrayal, we need more that speak to compassion.
This is bad. This is very, very bad. You look well-travelled, friend. Are you, by chance, going to Sadrith Mora? I can make it worth your while. Opportunity? Or that's what I thought, until I angered de Fair by failing to deliver the special mushrooms he ordered on time. Lost the shipment. Now I'm in a bind. I have the mushrooms, but I'm afraid Fair will evaporate me for late delivery. You aren't at fault for the late delivery, so Fair shouldn't do anything to you. Won't do anything to you, I mean. I guarantee it. Besides, I'll let you keep the payment he owes me as well. I'd rather avoid the situation altogether at this point. You're saving my life here, friend. I don't dare refuse the order, but I also don't want to meet a displeased Telvanni. For someone who's helping me out this much, you can ask as many as you like. Sadrith Mora is up on the eastern coast, so you could walk, but I wouldn't recommend it. Talk to Cinda, our local navigator. She can sail you up there on her next trip. That's how I was going to get there until I missed my delivery time. No clue. If a Telvanni mage wants them, I can only suppose they have magical properties. You won't see me putting them in any of my stews, that's for damn sure. The Telvanni aren't like you and I, friend. They're powerful and quick to anger and have no qualms about harming those who displease them. Sadrith Mora is up on the eastern coast, so you could walk, but I wouldn't recommend it. Talk to Cinda, our local navigator. She can sail you up there on her next trip. That's how I was going to get there until I missed my delivery time.
Can't you see I'm busy?
Even if you hadn't destroyed those shipments, I'm sure the Tribunal would have stopped the plague before it reached Mournhold.
I don't like the way the mountain rumbles these days. Makes me glad we're about to set sail and leave all this disaster behind us. We're headed to Sadrith Mora, if that's where you'd like to go. Just decide quick. I want to sail on the next tide.
Oh, dear Timothy, how I long to see you smile.
Mind your step. I would not want you to step on this random patch of grass. I jest, of course. The Telvanni force me to work, but I make sure it brings them no pleasure. I see you wear no shackles. Do you seek work? I know someone who needs help. In truth, you would be helping many Saxhleel, myself included. During my latest escape attempt, I met an amber beauty with eyes like summer rain. Her Lukial name is Sun in Shadow, but I call her my heart. She hatches a plan to set us free. Seek her out in Tel Naga. If I know my heart, she will be sunning herself in the light of some book. Always reading that one, always learning. If all goes to plan, she will read her books beside me in the boughs of a hist. Soon, I hope. Walk with Sithis, my friend, and mind the Telvanni. They spin lies like an elder at the yarn wheel. I ventured too far from the hist and did not heed the bird signs. Dark elf slavers spine-hooked me near Thorn. I escaped 4 times, but never for long. Eventually the Telvanni bought me, at a discount, I am told. I take pride in that, at least. Laws are slippery things. The Ebonheart Pact outlawed Argonian slavery, but House Telvanni refused to join the pact. In truth, I cannot imagine how they would live without slaves. The Magisters are like overstuffed crocodiles, dangerous, but lazy. I thank you for your offer, but I tire of breaking free only to be recaptured a day later. Sun in Shadow's plan will earn us a lasting freedom. If you help her, you help me. Mages mostly. Members of the so-called Great House Telvanni. one of the 4 great houses of the Dark Elves. They love using that word, great. Great at ruining lives, perhaps. Yes, and Khajiit also. You see, for a Telvanni, life is nothing but a cheap struggle for mastery and control. Mastery of their dry-skinned magics, control of their mushroom towers, and dominion over people. People like us. I ventured too far from the Hist and did not heed them.
I'm terribly sorry, Master. It won't happen again.
Ah, another useful idiot approaches. And what trifling matter brings you to me?
I trust you're not here to waste my time. That would end badly for you. So Edrino finally came through, did she? And she sent you in her place, no doubt because she believes I will turn her into a Vardvak, or such nonsense. The things these commoners believe. I shall, of course, dock her payment for the late delivery. If you're lying, you do so remarkably well. If you're not, it is of no concern to me. You will receive the same coinage either way. Business. And tell Edrino that if she fails again, I shall locate another mushroom seller. And that concludes my deliveries for today. What an exciting life I lead.
What is it?
Yes. Can I help you, Suryo? Bless his eyes. Yes, I'm Sun in Shadow. Yoki told you I have a plan to earn our freedom, right? It will require finesse and discretion. I trust that I can count on you for both. To earn my freedom, I need the help of Magister Thurama. She's a recently elevated Telvanni Magister. Not so set in her ways as the others, and probably more likely to remember her early struggles. I know she wants something from Zane Tararis. I need to find out what it is, then get it for her. I'm afraid not. I traded in some favors to get a better idea of what she's seeking, but I learned very little. Apparently her mouth, Erevan Ontham, has some correspondence that might give us a clue. I need that letter. Oh, yes. House Telvanni has its warts, but it's a true meritocracy. With enough guile and cunning, even a lowly slave can sit on the council. I've studied spellcraft since before I could lift a broom. All I need now is the sponsorship of a magister. Tarana's been haranguing the council, trying to get their help in claiming Zane Tararis from House Redrin. She wants something in that shrine. I aim to get it for her. Her mouth, Erevan Ontham, has a letter that contains the clues we need. Be cautious in the council house, Sarah. House Telvanni is not just some beast you can slay. In this place, subtlety will serve you better than any shield. We have to play the game. Truthfully, it doesn't. Not yet. Telvanni plots take time to develop. If I demand Ioki's freedom too early, I show my hand. Suddenly, he's a valuable piece in the game, moved and sacrificed as the Magisters see fit. Do I sense a rebuke? It's not ideal, I know. Look, I treasure Ioki. He's placed his trust in me. I hope you'll do the same. Ah, it was during one of his many escape attempts. I was cleaning Master Otheri's tableware when Ioki burst through the kitchen door, dragging his chains behind him. He threw open the window and started to climb through it. Then he saw me. He hesitated, even smiled. You don't see Mars slaves smile much. Certainly not when they're being chased by Nyx hounds. They dragged him off and threw him in the dry box. He told me he'd spend a year in there if it meant seeing me again. There's an old alchemist's proverb. No reaction is ever so forceful as the mixing of opposing components. A mouthful, I know, but it fits. Ioki and I occupy different poles on the same spear. He keeps me grounded. I keep him safe. Truthfully, it doesn't. Not yet. Telvanni plots take time.
What do you want? And who might you be?
Master Erevan is away on business. Has been for some time, in fact. I know a prowler when I see one. What do you want? No one just wanders into a council mouth's office looking around. I should report you. What are you really after? And do be honest, we've already wasted enough time here. Ah, the one about Zane Tararis, is it? Well, I could call the guard and be about my day, but I am a Telvanni after all. We don't turn away an opportunity when it presents itself. Perhaps you could help me with a problem I've run into. It's a matter of literature, or lack thereof. I wrote a poem, you see, a cloying, drunken mess of a poem. The post delivered it to my darling Ether and Dora just this morning. If you get it away from her, the letter is yours. She spends most of her time in the study, here in the council hall. She's very diligent, always leaning over one book or another. And the way she licks her thumb when she turns the pages. Sorry, you'll find her in the study, yes. If word got to my parents that I'd been courting a wood elf, I'd be written out of the will, repeatedly, with red ink. Then there's also the possibility of blackmail. Why do you think Ethrandora keeps it on her? She knows that if Master Erevan gets wind of this, he might dismiss me from his service. Clever minx. Working for a council mouth is a fine occupation, Fla. I can't risk losing it. She's such a pretty, dainty thing. Not at all like those other scrawny Aecon elves. Add a half bottle of Shane to a lusty heart, and you wind up with some very poor decisions. The poem's terrible. Plus, if word got to my parents... I hope this is good news. Well, did you get my poem? Quick, give it here! Phew, what a relief. All right, Fla, I'm going to burn this embarrassment. I sure hope I didn't leave Master Erevan's correspondence box unlocked. That would be careless in the extreme. Farewell. Good riddance to bad writing.
What is it?
There you are. I was afraid you'd been compromised. Were you successful? Did Ontham have anything worth reading? May I? Ah, a saint's relic. Saint Films. Never heard of him. Says here the Redarin want it too. To squirrel away in some musty old chapel, no doubt. We need to make sure Thorana gets it before they do. Looks like the shrine is locked, protected by some puzzle ward. Luckily, the letter provides some hints on how to break in. Solve the puzzle, grab the relic, then make haste to tell Barana. Thorana should be there. Offer her the relic on my behalf. Somewhere between certain and apprehensive. The Telvanni respect all clever schemes and love to barter. This little intrigue will prove my worth, I know it. Then again, she could just try to take the relic by force. Run? Telvanni magisters wield magics that put Giuliano's to shame. Of course, you're quite the hero in your own right. Hopefully it doesn't come to that.
love. How cruel the fates that keep me from my heart's desire and force me to lock away my true feelings. Chains bind my heart, yet it yearns to beat free. Oh, what does an outlander know about the complexities of Dunmerry love? But you're only trying to help, and maybe I do need a simpler perspective. How does an outlander convince an overbearing mother that the object of their affection is worthy? Of course not. Tywin is a slave. My mother's slave. I tried to buy her freedom, but Mother laughed at the mere suggestion that I'd be allowed to sully our reputation with a noir bride. Perhaps an outlander's offer wouldn't rouse her suspicion. I don't expect you to pay, obviously. It's just that Mother might reveal what it would take for her to release Tywin if it was anyone but me asking. Knowing that might give me some idea of how to free my love. It couldn't hurt to ask, could it? Tell her you've heard Tywin excels at finding Red Star shells. Telvanni wizards prize them, and they're very rare. Most of the locals know that Tywin is the best at finding them. Mother loves to gloat. I couldn't bear gazing upon Tywin since Mother rebuked me, but now I can't wait to see her lovely face again. I'll be down at the swamp where she hunts shells. Come find me once you've finished dealing with Mother. She'll be at our tower.
such pain.
You I don't recognize. If you've come to see Master Fear, he's preoccupied. Indefinitely.
Even if you hadn't destroyed those shipments, I'm sure the tribunal would have stopped the plague before it
You can't be too careful when you're picking your enemies.
door is open! Open at last! Hee hee hee!
Oh, excellent. Another clumsy adventurer bumbles into my home. I really must put a hex on that lift. Have you come to rob me? That would go very poorly for you. Sun in Shadow. Oh yes, I know the lizard. An enterprising young mage, if memory serves. Don't look so surprised. Her magical abilities are the worst-kept secret in Sadrath Mora. What does she want? I hope you bring more than boring salutations. Do you now? Well, she's a clever one, isn't she? Even convinced you to do the work for her. Impressive. So, what does our scaled friend want in exchange for this relic? No. Give me a moment. I'm keen to guess. She wants her freedom, right? Oh, good. I was afraid she'd do something boring with her freedom, like run off into the marsh to worship trees or some such. Sun in Shadow shall have my endorsement. I'll give you a writ. Deliver it to my mouth, Erevan. He'll know what to do. There, that should be sufficient. Now, take that writ and be off. I have a relic to study.
Don't cause trouble.
Do you need something? I'm rather busy at the moment. Oh? Let me see that. Submit to council. Argonian slave freed. Services to House Telvanni. Well. I've always known Sun in Shadow to be ambitious, but this is quite the master stroke. I shall take this to the council and send for her. Feel free to wait in the council chamber. We will rule on this matter soon. One other thing. Some of my personal correspondence went missing recently. If that ever happens again, the Morag Tong will hear of it. I trust we understand each other. I'll give this to the council.
I've imagined this moment since I was a hatchling. I knew I'd be free eventually, but now that the moment's here, I just hope I don't embarrass myself. They'll deliberate, needle each other a bit, then set me free. I only hope that they'll take me on as a hireling as well. I'll even get my own quarters. Can you imagine that? Not only my own room, a whole house to myself. My heart is racing. Yes, of course. I mean, eventually. We can talk about that later. Just let me bask in this moment, all right? Truly, I couldn't have done this without you and Ioki. A plan is only as useful as the people who carry it out. You have my deepest thanks, Sarah. Now, I suppose it's time.
What?
Well, well. What brings a slave to our audience chamber?
I bring tidings from my august patron, Magister Thorana. She would have your masters know that this slave, Sun in Shadow, has earned her favor.
What? Magister Thorana would lend her good name to this thing? Preposterous.
Relasa, don't be as tiresome as your master.
Can we move this along, please?
Very well. Magister Thorana, by right of rank, demands that the slave girl, Sun in Shadow, be freed from her bonds and raised up to a hireling of the great House Telvanni. She belongs to Magister Otheri, does she not?
Indeed. My most beneficent patron, Magister Otheri, acquiesces to Magister Thorana's demands. He is confident that Thorana will remember this kindness in the future. Sun in Shadow, you are hereby freed and lifted up to the rank
of hireling.
My most majestic patron, Magister Gothrin, warns you all. Lift up one of these beasts, and 1,000 more will follow. This is folly.
If there's nothing else, I have urgent business in Telmora.
You've done well, girl. Do come by in a day or so. I may have some work for you.